Hey, I'm Sean Callagy, and we're Callagy Law. The question I get asked is, what makes the difference between lawyers? I want to give you 3 key differences, and you've heard other videos of me talking about some of these general issues. This is going to be a little bit different. I want to really zero in on the influence mastery component of handling the process and talk about a couple of key issues and ask your attorney if they have any ability to think and talk this way, right? So the first issue I want to talk about is the ability to create emotional rapport. The ability to create emotional rapport. The ability to create emotional rapport is what is a prerequisite to your position being heard. So if your lawyer has to have rapport skills in talking with the adversary, believe it or not, in talking with witnesses, believe it or not, in talking with you, believe it or not, in speaking and communicating with the court, believe it or not, and eventually the jury and everybody involved in your case. And that's what opens up the lines of communication. And if you don't feel that there's a fluid connection, or your attorney's not, where they're being dismissed and they're fighting and yelling and screaming with an adversary, you want to certainly have that muscle and that ability. But if that's happening, they want to be able to switch gears and reopen the line of communication. One of the great stories I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, is that some people believe that Ronald Reagan ended the Cold War because he was able to establish rapport with the Soviet leader, Gorbachev at the time, and completely shifted as they were arguing and said, hey, let's go for a walk in the garden, shook hands, and opened up the lines of communication. So number one, does your attorney have the ability to create emotional rapport? A second issue is, do they have the ability to convey your unique identity and the unique identity of your case? Ask your attorney this question: who am I? Who am I to you? What's the point of our case? And if they're like, well, the point of your case is that they breached the contract with you. That's a terrible point. Your unique identity needs to be framed around some really persuasive, heroic characteristics. We do a great longer video that I have on a practice mastery webinar. You can find it online if you Google it, on really talking in a much more elaborate way about unique identity. But your unique identity is critical, and the repetitive delivery of that, the ownership of that, and the belief in that by your attorney. Distilled down, we talked about our $27 million jury case in Arizona. We regularly said that our client had been defrauded out of his company because he was the whistleblower, and that the adversary was there and had told people he was going to pay. He was going to steal the company, drive our client out for pennies on the dollar, because our client had found medical billing fraud in the company, and he was going to use a 5-step methodology to do it. That's a unique identity of a position, right? It's in a simple, succinct way framed around the issues that were involved. You need that for your case. Finally, there's agreement formation. So you could have somebody who's great at rapport, great at delivering the presentation, but are they great at taking action upon it? So if they're communicating those positions, are they able to have the judge see what's fair to do in your case? Have the adversary reach agreements? Have experts reach agreements on meeting deadlines and timelines? Because a lot of times experts have big egos. They're involved in a lot of other cases. So it is that agreement formation process that it's critical that your attorney is able to follow. And those are really the steps of influence mastery. So I'm Sean Callagy, we're Callagy Law. Those are some critical things to think about in evaluating the quality of representation you should be looking for, or asking yourself if you have or not. Please call us with any legal question you have at 201-261-1700. We have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, a ton of other things that we've been able to accomplish. And if you like this content, please like it, share it, comment on us. We're trying to get this message out there, fundamentally change the way people feel about lawyers, demystify the legal profession. I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks.